Entering San Felipe de Moro Fort in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Up there you'll see the lighthouse, the flags, the grand entrance, and over here some of the fort itself. We're now inside. They have three flags, the old Spanish flag there, the Puerto Rican Commonwealth flag, and the US flag, of course. The three flags that flew with this fort. So Sir Francis Drake attacked this fort first in the mid 1500s. It was attacked 5 times, and Sir Francis Drake was one of the most feared pirates at the time. Over here, you can see the quarters. Small, because people were smaller then. 4 beds where they ate. And this was probably just a bed for the actual sergeant or person in charge. Have a small cannon over there. Some of the period clothes that they would have worn. And out here, this guy is making what looks like musket balls.
So then what they would do is they would use some paper. They would cut the paper into this kind of goofy trapezoidal shape. And I'll explain why it's in this trapezoidal shape in a second. And then they would use what they call the musket former, which we call a 5/8 inch dowel. And they would bring the ball in at about, come in about 1.5 inches, 2 inches from the left-hand side. They would then roll that up as tight as they could. Now this paper that I'm using here is a little heavier than the regular paper they would use. Kind of think of the paper would be like paper, that kind of weight. So they would then twist it off, and then through the magic of television, they would tie it off with a piece of string, then push it up and tie it off again at a piece of string to get the ball separated. And really what they were after was to create this tube. That's what they really wanted. And then they would use a measure, and they would take their gunpowder, they would fill up their measure, and they would then fill that up, fold it over, and then now they would have a cartridge that would go into their cartridge box. And that's what they take into the field to fight. And they would use niter, brimstone, and charcoal. And we know niter as potassium nitrate. We know brimstone as sulfur, and we know charcoal as charcoal. And you take 75%, 10%, 15%, and you've got gunpowder. Now the truth is they wouldn't have made it here. That would have been shipped over from Spain. It would have come over in casks like this. And then the ball itself likely wouldn't have been made here either. That would have been made in Spain, typically made in a factory. They would make 100 ball at a time kind of thing. And they would ship them over in smaller kegs. And then here there would be so there were 2 pulverines, if you will. And a pulverine is a powder magazine. Okay. A powder magazine. So there's one right outside of the fort here on the left-hand side. But they also would have been one inside the fort where the only thing that would have been allowed in there would have been non-explosive things. So wooden tools, you would have been able to bring in brass, potentially copper, but they wanted nothing that would take a spark. So even my shoes wouldn't have been allowed, because my shoes have nails at the bottom. So they would have actually had another set of shoes that would have been held together by leather with wooden pegs, and that's what they would have worn in there. And then that's where they would have made these combinations.
Here we have some cannons, period cannons. You can see them. There's some more right outside this door. These some mortar howitzer, it says, right there. Looks like it was severely damaged. And right out here, oh, here's a really nice one here. Let's take a look at this one. This one looks like it's been uniquely restored. It's beautiful. And right outside the door here, you'll see some more cannons lined up. Over here, some really old, like what we're walking towards first. And then some newer ones. It's a windy day. Seems like we've had a lot of wind, the different ports that we've been in. But this is a really old one here. Looks like it was actually even possibly in water when they dug it out or recovered it, or in the ground. It's very rustic looking. You'll see some more restored ones over that way. Up there you'll see the entrance to the lighthouse there. And here, if you notice where this one is sitting, you'll see this ridge of these odd colored pavers, and that was to rotate the cannon, so they could have the cannon there and they could just rotate it to the angle they needed to shoot out through the opening there. They could aim different angles. It just wouldn't have to fire in one spot. So which is really cool that they figured that out early in battles. But here's some other ones. These are newer ones here. And up there is a beautiful lighthouse there that we'll go up and take a look. Okay, so here you have the sentry guard station, kind of like a little box, and they would look out over the land in the Bay Area here and the ocean. As you can see, they have these small openings here to look out, and they would be protected from the elements, most of the elements, and you can see how their view would have been. This is almost exactly like the San Marcos de Castillo in St. Augustine. Very, very similar, because they were built by the Spanish. So it would be obvious that they would have similar designs. Unfortunately, people graffitied in here. I don't see any in St. Augustine, thank goodness. But I'm not walking out. So over here you have these little garrison rooms, are called, with information, and you can stand out over there and look out over the ocean. And used for different things, for storage and things like that. We'll go in this one. And we're going to go through the small opening, and there is a work ship and a tugboat in the beautiful ocean, and more of the structure. You can see the bricks down there where the cannons could rotate and shoot through those openings, quite a few. You can see down there as well, different tunnels that they have. They used everything for storage and food and bringing people in from the local community if they were being attacked. And so there's a lot to these places that you see. Some of them were the kitchen, some of them were the chapel or religious services. So go down these careful stairs here. Got to be very careful on these stairs. They're very weathered, slippery. They angle. This takes you down to where I just showed you from up above. Once again, we're in San Juan, Puerto Rico with Leg Up Travel. Like, subscribe, share, hit notifications. I got some videos coming out. So make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Caring is sharing. However you want to flip the script. Just get the word out. I made my pretty weak, how should I say, goal of 50 subscribers by New Year's. I did make it, but let's kick that up. Let's double that, triple that, quadruple that, all that stuff. We're gonna go up on this observation post here and take a quick look. You will see some beautiful, beautiful views. How awesome is that? Now, once again, word of caution. If you bring children here, keep them off these ledges, because these little chutes right here where the cannons would shoot out, and this lady's walking right there, if you fall, you're dead, because this is what you're gonna land on right here. You're gonna land on rocks or pavement. So don't do it. Don't try and get that great selfie picture. Just be careful. You know, zoom out, zoom in, do whatever you gotta do to get your picture, but don't go out on those ledges. There has been people that have fallen and been severely injured and passed away, so please be wary and cognizant of your surroundings and the dangers. Okay, so here is one of the powder rooms. It says gunpowder magazine room, and over here across the way is another kitchen. Over here you'll see little kitchen area that they kind of set up. But it actually says here that was used as a kitchen. Military cuisine, coquina, that's what the fort is made of, just like the one in St. Augustine, coquina rock, which is probably the best thing to make it out of. It's porous though, but it just would take the cannonballs that would hit it, and it would just, there's some construction going on right there, but it would take the cannonballs that would hit it, and it would just kind of like absorb them, and then the cannonballs would fall. So it couldn't really penetrate. So these were made very, very well of the local coquina, which is a rock, porous, like I said. You can see it here. It's made up of shells, limestone, different things like that. And yeah, it's porous though. So when it would rain, it would be very wet in here. But cannonballs would hit it. Bullets would hit it, and you either get stuck in it or fall down. It was very well built for that, as you can see here. There is some brick here and there that they threw in, but it's mostly made of coquina. And here's the chapel. They were Catholics, so they have the Virgin Mary up there. Little altar. So this is where they would have prayed.